Okay, this was a video response to a monoxide video. I was actually going to talk about the ECW invasion angle that happened on TNA Impact, but actually I'm just going to talk about TNA in general. Now, there's a reason why I don't do too many TNA videos, because TNA as a wrestling promotion really frustrates me. And there's so many things that frustrate me about that promotion that I don't want to do so many videos where I'm going to be like this. I want to talk about how I got started involved in TNA, and the first time I heard of TNA was 2002, and one of the things that got my attention was the X Division. Now, I've already been a follower of the indie scene, which people can enjoy despite what other morons tell you out there. Uh, I saw guys like AJ Styles and Loki on the indie scene, and they were on TNA, NWA TNA, on their weekly pay-per-views, and the X Division was something that got my attention. Seeing guys who do things that you wouldn't normally see on WWE television. Considering the way the Cruiserweight division had been presented, this was a nice alternative. Keyword alternative. And then one of the things that further hooked me is when they signed Raven after his release from WWE. And this was amidst of a great, interesting storyline called Sports Entertainment Extreme involving Vince Russo, which was probably one of the last marketable, most interesting things they've ever had involving Russo. And there was this tremendous build up with Raven. He brought so much to the company at that time, and people wanted to see him win the belt. And they built to this feud with Jarrett for about 3 months, 4 months almost. And then in the end, Jarrett won the feud, and fans didn't get what they want. And then they eventually put the belt on AJ Styles about maybe a month later, and then things started changing creatively, and it was really strange. It was just like a calamity to watch TNA wrestling. Things were all over the place, and then I think about a year later, 2004, they started to go back to this emphasizing in-ring action, and it took a while, and they eventually got their Impact television deal on Fox Sports, and then the show was pretty good. And then more creative changes happened. Dusty Rhodes was put in place, and under Dusty, I think they had some very good pay-per-views. I felt like the first pay-per-view he did was Turning Point, and he had that great main event, the Six Sides of Steel AMW Triple X, which was a great one. And I just want to stress, before all of this, being in England, it's very hard to get TNA, NWA, TNA stuff at that time. So for me, I had to go to great lengths to actually get TNA vids, TNA updates at the time. It was quite a task. And as we fast forward into 2005, more creative changes happened. I think they got rid of Dusty. Yeah, they got rid of Dusty, and then they had a new booking system in place. And then when I saw the shows under this creative regime, it really made me believe that TNA could be a promotion destined for greatness. And then they started accumulating talent. Samoa Joe came in, and Samoa Joe, who I always say is like pro wrestling's Fedor Emelianenko, he has something special to him. And the X Division was being emphasized and emphasized really hard, and that was interesting. And then you had even guys like Lance Hoyt, who was actually pretty exciting. Big man doing high flying moves. It was quite an exciting thing. Abyss was very interesting back then. It looked like so many future main event talents. And Monty Brown, let's not forget Monty Brown, a guy that I would compare to someone like The Rock, or a Muhammad Ali or a Quentin Jackson. He has that level of charisma. They have all these talents that people want to see go somewhere. And the shows were so good in 2005. Everything looked like it was happening. They even signed Christian. I actually thought that was a good idea at the time, and signing Sting. Things were going so good, and then around 2006, everything kind of changed. And that's when I felt I started to change as a wrestling fan. They had so much momentum, and the current landscape of wrestling at the time. The ECW third brand was a failure. Let's face it, it wasn't very good when they first brought it in. WWE were rehashing ideas, mocking God, doing all these stupid things. TNA really had its chance back then to be the alternative, getting a new television deal, signing Kurt Angle. And instead of taking advantage of this, it's like they took steps backwards. and creatively speaking and from a marketing aspect, everything just started to go back, uh, rushing ideas, and then just signing all these people just because they've been on WWE television. Now, I'm not against signing name talent. My thing is, if you're bringing in name talent, use them sporadically. Don't bring them in at the expense of your existing talent and talent that are young that you want to bring up. And unfortunately, TNA have done that. What they've done is they bring in these names and they push them over their own homegrown talent. Look at how important AJ Styles was in 2005 and 2004 and 2003, and then look around 2007. He basically was a non-factor. In addition to that, fans wanted to see Joe win the belt, and they made us wait, and it wasn't even a chase. They just had no clue. And things became more and more stupid. And there was a one pay-per-view when the fans chanted "Fire Russo." And apparently Dixie Carter made a comment like, well, if I hear them chant that again, I'm going to have someone else fired. And from what I understand, the way it's run in the company, apparently they feel that they can do no wrong. And they've been making more and more and more mistakes as years have gone by. And apparently the pay-per-view numbers are getting less and less and less. At this point right now, they cannot afford to make mistakes. They are spending more money now than they ever have. I think their only real source of revenue is coming from their television deal, and that's the only thing that's keeping them afloat, and Daddy Carter's money. But, you know, he's a businessman, and eventually he's going to look in his books and he's going to see what's making him money and what's costing him money, and he's going to say, fuck it. TNA isn't making me money. Fuck it. They're finished. Done. Over. But still, fans are telling TNA so many things, and it's almost like they don't want to hear it. And I remember hearing someone on a video out here saying, well, TNA are giving fans what they want. And if that's the case, then why hasn't there been change creatively? Why hasn't there been change in what kind of talent's been pushed? I want to talk about this ECW thing, and this is something I want to talk about. I don't have any ill feelings as a wrestling fan towards the ECW talent that they're going to use. The problem I feel is that you're going to build a pay-per-view around a bunch of guys who are no longer in their prime, and you're going to build around a pay-per-view around a concept that died in 2001 and it was revived once, but I mean, come on, the idea is old. It's like TNA want to relive 1998. And I also heard that the thought and consensus in there is booking this ECW angle is a way to bring Heyman in. Well, the thing is, Heyman, I highly doubt would actually want to do a revival ECW angle. What Heyman always was good at was looking at what's going on in society right now and then relating it to his wrestling product. That was his greatest strength, actually, as a writer, as far as I'm concerned. Vince Russo can't do that for you. Your current creative regime can't do that for you. Jeff Jarrett can't do that for you. The people writing the show are so out of touch, it's unbelievable. You see a team like the Motor City Machine Guns, who fans are really into, and they've made us wait, what, 4 years for them to get the belts? They were hot a few years back. They're not as hot right now. It's frustrating being a TNA wrestling fan or someone who wants to see TNA do really well. Yet they're just doing so many things wrong, and there's so much talent there, and it's coming to the point where you wonder what's going to happen with this promotion. At some point, that plug might be pulled, and you know they might have themselves to blame. It's a shame to say it. It's a hard thing to say it, but what happens? They're going to have a lot of people out of jobs unless they don't change what they're doing right now. Anyway, guys, this is about as enough as I can say right now about TNA wrestling. I'll probably be doing another video soon, so who knows. Let me know what you think, and hopefully Monoxide will accept this as a response. Take care.